Welcome, listeners, to our second episode with Sonali Kalgaonkar. And today, our podcast delves deeper into the mystery of breathing, different methods of respiration, and yogic breathing. And we shall also reflect upon how stress and breathing are related in detail. So, Sonali, welcome to the second episode.
Thank you, Pulkit.
Listeners, let's start with our first question. And Sonali, in the last episode, we were talking about the science of breathing and the physiology of breathing. There's
Hmm.
one aspect of breathing that's respiration. And respiration, it's just not limited to one particular method. Again, like breathing, it has got its own various types. And the two I could really find out were one was diaphragmatic breathing and chest breathing. So can you help us
Right,
understand the difference between the two and which one is actually ideal for the human breath?
right. In short, it is we can divide it into three different methods. Okay,
Hmm.
one is a high breathing method, which is technically called as the clavicular breathing, which happens in the upper chest area.
Okay.
So where you have just below your collarbone, that area of the physiology is where the high breathing occurs. So now what does high breathing really mean? High breathing is happening in the upper chest area. This is the area where physiologically the lungs are narrower. Okay, so the breath that comes there is comes with extreme effort. So it's like maximum effort, and we obtain only minimum benefit at this point of breathing if you're doing high breathing. Okay, now many mouth breathers, we spoke about mouth breathers the last episode. Mouth breathers
Hmm.
tend to from here. Or if you are stressed out, you're anxious, you have a panic attack, this is the area where you're breathing from. And unfortunately, because you're breathing only from here, you are actually restricting the breath to go into the right areas and calm you down. The
Okay.
second type of breathing that we call is called as mid breathing. Mid breathing is technically between the intercostal muscles. So the ribs, technically the rib area that you have is where the intercostal muscles are there, and they help to, get the breathing going in a certain direction. Now, here what happens, the ribs are raised, chest is partially expanded, and the diaphragm, which is, at the base of the ribs, is slightly pushed upward direction. So this is a better type of breathing compared to the upper chest breathing. We can say it's like medium hai, theek hai, not so bad, not so good. Then we come to something called as the low breathing. That's where you it's also known as abdominal breathing or diaphragmatic breathing or
Hmm.
deep breathing. Okay. So these are the three aspects. Now, lower breathing or diaphragmatic breathing, abdominal breathing is considered to be the powerhouse of the entire breathing physiology, because this is the area above the diaphragm where you have you can say, plenty of air sacs there. And that's where, if you breathe in properly, the exchange of oxygen happens more easily, the carbon dioxide coming out when you exhale. That process happens very well, and the impurities can be rid of easily, which doesn't happen if you're doing the higher breathing. So now, what does this really mean? This means that you should not be breathing too much all the time at the shallow level, at the upper chest level. You need to breathe closer to the abdominal muscles, at the diaphragm. The diaphragm has to work well. So when you do diaphragmatic breathing, the breath goes in slow, it goes into all the air sacs, it gets nicely, the exchange of gases happen nicely, the impurities go out, purity of that rich blood nutrition reaches each cell of our body. But how do we make sure that we do this fully? So what we do is we take the good aspects of all these three breathings, whether it is your high breathing, mid breathing, or low breathing, and make it into one single breath. That's the yogic breathing. Using of all your respiratory muscles, the entire system, in such a way that it's one smooth flow, a rhythm of breath. That is called as the yogic breathing or a complete yogic breathing. And this
Okay.
is something that can lead to really a lot of healing with different ailments and better fitness at whatever age you may be. The capacity of your breathing can be changed, and you know, the quality of your breathing can be enhanced no matter what age you are.
So, Sonali, would I be correct in saying this that people who suffer from depression, anxiety majorly, if they learn
Mhm.
the practice or the art of yogic breathing, they can have better control over their anxiety attacks or panic attacks?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I can share one incident here if that makes it easy to understand. So, there was a student, a teenager, 17-year-old, who came to study with me. She was on anxiety medicines from the age of 10.
Okay.
And within 3 months of continuous practice with me, her anxiety medication was reduced by half.
Wow.
And she, being a teenager, she was, after she felt good, she stopped the practice with me. I don't know if she's still doing it on her own, but that's the power of doing yogic breathing and adding other aspects of pranayama to your practices. But consistency is the key here.
I totally agree that consistency is the key for achieving success as well, and to everything that we want to achieve in our lives. But Sonali, we have been talking even in the previous episode and in this episode. There's so many
Hmm.
terms and names to remember.
Hmm.
How do you, as a trainer, keep a tab on everything so correctly and immaculately that whatever question I'm asking, you're able to answer them to the point? How do you really do that?
I think, it is just practice of this for so many years and sharing this knowledge with others, that it's become so much a part of my, like, you can wake me up and then ask me from sleep what it is, and I can still share it. So it is
Amazing.
only that. I think it's only that, nothing else.
Amazing, amazing. And practice can really help us improve our lung capacity, and there are various different techniques of breathing. Like we talk about Ujjayi breathing, Kapalbhati breathing, Nadi Shodhana, and many
Hmm.
more. So can you help
Hmm.
us understand a little, about each of these type of breathings, and how can they, really contribute to the overall well-being of any individual?
Yeah, so let me just first summarize all of them. Basically, all these breathing practices are going to help you to calm down, increase the carbon dioxide in your body, and therefore, certain reactions, interactions that happen in the body will continue to happen in such a way that it keeps your health in place, or maintain your health, or increase the fitness of your health. Okay, now in short, first I'll start with Kapalbhati. Now, this is considered as a cleansing practice. Okay,
Okay.
it is considered as a shatakarma, which means that when you are doing Kapalbhati, you're cleansing the excess mucus and impurities and everything that may be in your inside the respiratory system.
Mm-hmm.
After
Mm-hmm.
that, then you are practicing the other practices. So whether it is Ujjayi, whether it is Nadi Shodhan. So you start with the cleansing practice and then move to basic practices. Then going to Samavritti Pranayam, working with the equal breath concept. And then kind of come to see Nadi Shodhan is a practice which will, it purifies all your nadis. Now nadis are basically channels, and it's a, like we it says that we have 72,000 nadis in our, each one of us has in our body. So to
Okay.
make them pure, away out of, remove the impurities from them, when you are doing nadi shodhan, you're balancing the left and right side, so the left brain and the right brain are also balanced in the process. And
Mm-hmm.
therefore, with the balance, you're able to maintain your health, mental health, physical health, emotional health, and then of course spiritually grow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ujjayi, if you take Ujjayi is a practice of calming. Like if you practice Ujjayi for 20-30 minutes, you will probably go into a meditative state after a point.
Okay.
Reaching Ujjayi learning how to do Ujjayi correctly takes a little while. For that, you need to learn how to breathe slow, how to do deep breathing. Most of the time, people, what they say when you're deep breathing, they try to take a large breath, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and mostly it happens from the chest. So that's not deep breathing, that's over breathing. So,
Okay.
understanding these differences, learning the concepts, this is where you need the right teacher. Today, everything is available on the internet. People read it, people watch videos and do it, but still, sometimes harm themselves because their basic breathing may be not right. So, I will insist here that people should go to a good teacher to learn these, because pranayama practices is something, if you do incorrectly, you are harming yourself.
Okay.
So there are many other forms of breathing also. I mean, we do Surya Bhedi Pranayam, Chandra Bhedi Pranayam. These are all like different aspects of it, depending on the person's health issues, depending on their capacity, their age. Usually a teacher will tell you, okay, these are good for you, these you avoid now, or even the climate makes a difference. So in cold weather, for example, if you try to do cooling pranayams, it's not going to
Mm-hmm.
help you. But you need to do cooling pranayams if you're in a very hot atmosphere, and it will cool your body down.
Got it. Sonali, so this particularly brings me to my next question. We're talking about cooling down our body using just our breathing techniques in a very hot environment. And
Mm-hmm.
this, somewhere or the other, if I'm not wrong, links to the resilience of our body, the capacity of our body to bounce back from any adversity. So,
Right.
how by following an intentional and structured breath work, we can enhance
Mhm.
the resilience power of our body?
Yes, so increasing resilience of our body begins with the correct breathing. Again, I will emphasize on that. Then grounding. You need to ground yourself as well. हवा में उड़ रहे हैं ऐसे बहुत हो जाता है हम लोगों का. So it's like, you are like sometimes very much in that flow state ki this happened, that happened, I am doing so well in life, and I am powerful, and I'm successful, and all of that. And in that process we forget to ground ourselves. So
Mhm, mhm.
connecting to earth, connecting to nature, and breathing in nature is an important step here. So starting with that, and then you maintain all these other practices, so the endurance increases, and step by step the resilience will come in. When your strength increases, your endurance increases, your resilience will also come in.
Got it. So, thanks a lot, Sonali, for sharing these secrets of managing our body and our health through breathing. Listeners, if you have any questions, you can share with us in our DM or leave it as a comment, on our respective platforms. We would more than happy to get back to you. And stay tuned for the final episode with Sonali, where we are gonna talk about the rituals of home practice. So, I guess this is going to be the episode everyone is going to be waiting for, Sonali, where they get to learn how they
Yes.
can inculcate the practice of breathing in their daily routine. Thanks a lot, Sonali, for this episode.
Thank you.